everybody. I hope you're doing well and welcome to the platform of CodeChef. So today we're going to be solving the problem string generation. The difficulty level for this problem is easy and the prerequisites require are your basic implementation. So this is your educator Ansh and I hope you like my video. Let's proceed to the problem statement. Okay, now let us try to understand the problem statement. You are given a matrix of characters. Matrix has n rows and m columns. Given a string S, you have to tell whether it is possible to generate that string from the given matrix. Okay, so rules for generating the string from the matrix are you have to pick first character of the string from row 1, second character of string from row 2 and so on. The n plus 1 character of the string is to be picked from row 1 and that is you have to traverse the rows in a cyclic manner. Row 1 comes after row n. If an occurrence of character is picked from a row, you cannot pick the same occurrence again from that particular row. So you have to print yes if the given string can be generated from using the matrix or you have to print no. Okay, so let me just summarize the entire problem statement. So basically we are given a string and we are told we are also given a matrix. So consider this is a string and this is my matrix. So a 3 cross 3 matrix. Okay. Now the question has told that you have to pick characters from each row one at a time but in a cyclic fashion. That means initially you have to pick the character from the first row. Then you have to pick a character from the second row. Then you have to pick a character from third row and after third row you have to again pick a character from the first row and so on until the string is satisfied or not. Now you can pick any of the characters in the first row when you are at first row, but if you pick that particular character you cannot pick it again because that character will be used. Okay, and if this how in traversing in the cyclic fashion, if you are able to generate your particular string then you have to print yes, otherwise you have to print no. So now let us understand the working of this algorithm on this test case. So here I have my required string as AXBAYDB. As you can see, we can pick. Okay, let me just write the string here ABA. Let me write XYZ and like BDR. And the required string that I want to generate is AXBAYDB. Right? So this is the required string. So what I can do is firstly I can pick A from here on the first row. So my A got cancelled out and I picked this particular element. And then my pointer moves on to the second row and I have to find whether my X lies in the second row or not. So I can easily pick X and my even X got successful. Then on my third row, I have to check B. So we can just simply pick B and our B got used. Then again we go up due to cyclic traversal, so we come again here and then we check whether we have A. So we have A, so we picked up A and it got used. Then similarly we come to the second row, we check for Y, we have Y, so Y got used. Then we check for D, then we have D, so D got used. And then initially we check for B, so we have B got used. So traversing in this cyclic fashion, if we can generate a string, then we have to print yes, otherwise I have to print no. So what is the approach of solving this problem? The approach of solving this problem is simple. You just have to traverse in the cyclic fashion. So for cyclic fashion, what you can do is every time you're traversing, say you're traversing for the length of string, you can just simply take mod n or number of rows. So this is the way you can keep on cycle. So basically the point is say your number of rows is 3 and say your string length in this case which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 7. So every time say I am on I equals to 0, I equals to 1, every time at any particular I always keep mod n. So what is the goal of it is I go to 0, 1, I go to I is equals to 2 and as soon as I hit I is equals to 3 in this case, as you know my n is also 3 because we have a 3 cross 3 grid, my 3 mod 3 will be 0. So again I'll be confined to 0 by using this mod operation. Similarly for my I equals to 4, my 4 mod 3 will be 1 and my I is equals to 5, my 5 mod 3 will be 2 and so on we can keep on repeating the cycle of 3. So that way we can keep on shifting the pointer to the respective rows in a cyclic fashion And once I am at the corresponding row, I can simply check whether the required character, say in this initially A was the required character, so I searched for A. In the next iteration, X was the required character, so I searched for X. So similarly, as I find my required character, I can simply tell that this character is used and we can mark that character as false, or we can assign some other value instead of that character. So we can replace that character by other value denoting that character is used. And then we can go on following, and if we are able to generate a string, then we can simply print yes. Otherwise, if we are not able to generate a string, let's print no. So this is the approach to solve this particular problem. So let us have a look at the code for this problem to get more clarity about this approach. Okay, now let us discuss the code for the following problem. So here I include all my necessary header files. Then in my main function for t test cases, I take input according to the input format. Then my dimensions of the matrix, or n comma m, I take input according to the input format, and I initialize my matrix of length n, right, having the rows as n. And then I input my string for the n rows of the matrix. So for each and every row, I input the string corresponding to that row. Then I initialize my string s as the required string given in the question whom we have to generate using the matrix. Then I initialize some of the variables such as a and length to define the length of the string. And what I do is I traverse in the length of the string and I take the modulo. I generate my key is nothing but I modulo n. So by doing modulo with n, we just keeping it cyclic with respect to rows. So yeah, every time my I will be irrespective of the value, my I will be cyclic with respect to the rows, right? So that way we can traverse in that particular fashion. And then simply we can traverse in each and every element of the string, and I'll check whether my current index of the string, which is the required string or the given string, is given in any of the rows of that particular matrix. And if it is given, then I'll increment by a by 1, saying that we can successfully pick this particular element. I'll initialize that particular element with 0 because that particular frequency is used, so we have no use for that particular frequency, and then I initialize with some random value which is 0, which will never occur in this question, right? So that won't interfere with our answer. And then we can just simply break this loop because we found our character, so we no need to traverse ahead in the string. And then after doing this all operations, if my a is equals to the length of the string, then I can simply print out yes, otherwise I can print out no, that it is not equal. So this becomes the code for the following problem. Now let us run our code on the sample test cases to check whether everything is working correctly or not. So as you can see, we got the yes, which is the expected output for this particular sample test case. Now let us submit our code on the actual test cases to see whether our code passes all of it or not. Okay, so as you can see, we got the correct answer for the following problem, and yes, this becomes the correct approach to solve this problem. Okay, now let me discuss what people could do wrong in this particular problem. So here I have a code with me which got a runtime error verdict. The reason is that I think the person has complicated the code by too much. Like, always try to keep your code as simple as possible, because if you're complicating it too much, then your chances that you can make more errors and like the chances of making mistakes increases. So you can just simply think on the observation part and the logical part, and then you can keep your code as simple as possible. So yeah, this is the learning you get from this video, and I hope you like my video. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.